Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to recap number 9, brought to you by Raceface.Pro and presented by myself, Stephen Kernick, and Janneman. Janneman, we're back. It's recap number 9. We're heading into the final week of it all, and then our next recap will be just going through our champions for the seasons. But we have now reached this point, the milestone, the closing, the checkered flag is in the distance. We can see it. Hopefully there isn't a yellow flag to follow.
Good evening, Stephen. You want to tell me we've done this 8 times before? This is episode 9. Has it been that long?
It has. We have carried on the recap, and that is because, well, big shout out to everyone out in the grandstands, the communities, the sim racers, the families, everyone going and putting support, and also willing this to continue. A big shout out to you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for enjoying the content because, well, I won't lie. We originally thought it was going to be a proper miss. It was going to be lining up the ball, ready. All you have to do is kick it through the posts. Just aim it straight, and you kick it off to that 3-year-old kid that's off into the grandstands.
You kick it into the wrong team's post. But Stephen, we chatted about this quickly off air, where we said, what are we going to do with ourselves this week? I mean, we're so used to racing happening Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturdays, all over the show. And, you know, this week, some of the championships have been wrapped up already, so Tuesdays are going to be a bit quiet. Wednesdays are going to be a bit quiet. I think, you know, I'll catch you tomorrow evening for a game of Scrabble or something like that. How does that sound?
We'll play Uno because it'll be the only time I see a first place. So we'll play Uno.
We'll go on. We'll do a live broadcast of our Uno game. How does that sound?
Oh gosh. Well, enough with that. Let's talk about what we're here. This is what everyone wants to see. Let's talk about the Grid Championship, starting off with our Gold Division. The Grid Championship brought to you by Metal State and Raceface, fueled by MTN. And I've got to say a big shout out to MTN for jumping back and being part of this amazing, amazing championship. The Grid Championship coming alive, and is the final race is not only going to dictate the winner of Gold, Pro-Am, and Pro all in one shot. The last race will be the podium finishers, and that's got me excited. So, guys who did manage to conquer the mountain this past week for the gold was Vietia Bertha. He had a phenomenal run, got it going, got an early pit stop in, not once but twice, double stacked his pit stops and powered his way to the end. His whole goal was just to survive, and getting a 3rd place, well, I think he survived quite well.
And in 2nd place, we've got Kay Stoltz. I mean, Stephen, you spoke about surviving, managed to survive from start to finish, and did quite a good job on keeping that car on the black stuff and bringing it home in 2nd place.
Yeah, and not without a fight. As you can see on screen, he definitely had to work for it, and it wasn't just one of these easy runs where he can try pull away. It was a lot of back and forth with our 1st place of our Gold Division. And that is Michael Schultz, who's managed to pull away with Porsche. It was touch and go. Apparently, the drivers also got a little bit too close on the start to one another. When I spoke to Schultz, he said, I had to take a deep breath. I think I made the Porsche become 2 wheels just to ensure that we don't have it coming together. And looking based on the replay, well, 3 wide and all surviving through turn 1. That is also named HE double hockey stick. For anyone that doesn't want to work out, that's called Hell's Corner. And, well done for going 3 wide and surviving.
Yeah. It's just because the tree wasn't there anymore.
Well, that's it. But let's take a look at our Pro-Am, because there was also quite a change up there. Unfortunately, we didn't quite have the replay to show you the cars, but we'll definitely show you and acknowledge our winners. So, 3rd place going to Tinian Kube. He was able to keep up the momentum. Ultimately, the strategy that he went and utilized, early pit stop at the beginning, and then stopping midway through the race, was able to continue him forward, securing that 3rd place. So taking a different strategy to the rest of the season did pay off, because a lot of the others were expecting him to do something different. Second place went to Jay Kutsa, who was also on a hard press charge to claw his way through the field. Did a phenomenal job in doing so, only closing up right to the end, and was finishing behind first place, 1.1 seconds behind after 1 hour and 20 minutes of racing, which is incredible stuff to power your way through that close right at the end.
Absolutely. I mean, start to finish battles. And coming home in first place was Tinus Buerta. And as you said, Stephen, close battles. And that's what we'd like to see in this type of racing, to go an hour and 20 minutes and finish just over a second apart.
Now, Tinus Buerta going and putting on a fantastic show, moving on to a new team this season, but ultimately going and putting in the results that I'm sure that's going to be raising a few eyebrows and taking note that Mr. Buerta has arrived, and he's arrived with a bit of a bang. But let's talk about our pros, because that's what we were broadcasting on, and our Grid Championship, brought to you by Metal State and Raceface, with the pro division, really unlocked a few different things. So, third place, Morgan McCall, monstrous fighting all the way through, from having the worst of luck that we've seen this season to now getting on the wicket to get back into fights, suddenly taking the charge to the front end of the field. And as Robert McCall said, we're slowly getting there. Confidence is now finally, after so many months, and I talk about months, ladies and gentlemen, has finally started to return.
Yeah, well, during the race, you remember me and you were both speculating Morgan on a different strategies to a lot of other drivers on the grid, and we were busy speculating where he might end. And I know we were throwing 5th and 4th place in there, might make it up all the way to 4th, but neither me or you expected 3rd to come into play.
Definitely not. But let's take a look at our second place, who managed to outpace him, and that was Daniel Rowe. Daniel Rowe managing to get the jump on the field, clawed his way from the back of the field, might I add, and got himself into second place. It was definitely a hard-fought fight, starting second last in the field, and had to just try and figure out what can he do, what can be the challenges, and how can he get to the top. So, well done to Daniel Rowe in terms of utilizing strategy and pace, but also surviving the hill after quite some time of racing.
Absolutely, and very close battle with his teammates as well. At the end of the day, a close battle with our first place man, and that would be Mr. Bego Grobler. I mean, they finished split seconds apart, but at the end of the day, Daniel could not quite make it work up to first place. And first place, as I said, Bego Grobler. And even with one race to go in the championship, this is going to be getting quite interesting.
It's going to be all to play for amongst everyone. Even Bego's got the championship hopes in sight, but he's going to have to try and work out, well, we're going to fight it out. We're going to fight it out amongst the team, and we're going to race our hearts out. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen, because coming up on Thursday, we head to the final race, where our curtain raiser, where it all started earlier with the Grid the Grid Cup, which was a one race sprint to go for the prize. It was a curtain raiser. We are now heading to Suzuka, where it's going to be closing the curtains, taking the final bow at one of the most legendary tracks, and might I add, is a track that defined the Formula One World Championship
on more than one occasion.
Well, into the final corner was the main one. Prost, Senna.
Who will ever forget that one? Well, having said that, people that are old enough, who will ever forget that one? I think some of the younger guys will not remember some of the antics that went on in the earlier days around Suzuka. But Stephen, we've gone full circuit, and we're back where we started, Suzuka. And if the first race around there was anything to go by, this is going to be one cracker of a race come Thursday.
I think it's going to be an incredible one. I can't wait to see how it's all going to work. And then after that, we've got a secret, well, not really secret, but we have got an encore race, which we're really looking forward to. None of us have got the details. No one's been led on to the details. It's all been hush-hush secret. And the only time we're going to find out is after Suzuka. So everyone is waiting with bated breath, including you and I, who, I won't lie, we're kind of sitting here going, well, what are we going to push play on? What are we going to see? Where are we going to be in the world? What is our plane ticket going to say at this point?
Are they going to do... Remember back in the day, me and you did a championship where they only released the track 24 hours before the race?
I hope not.
Can you remember that?
Yes, and I hope not. I really hope not, because I'm so looking forward to it. So keep an eye. Next week, we will be dropping the big bomb for the encore race coming up. So we'll bring you the results, and we'll bring you the big bomb of the encore race. But this Thursday, the Grid Championship Season 4 will conclude at Suzuka, brought to you by Metal State, Raceface, and fueled by MTN. And I'm sure MTN is standing on their feet. They're waiting for this because they're going to be crowning a champion for the second time in sponsoring the Grid Championship. So it's good to have MTN returning, and we'll have the honors of putting the crown onto our champions for our Pro, our Pro-Am, and Gold divisions. That being said, we cannot forget about our Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Season 10 that also happened on Wednesday. So, taking a look at our Pro-Am division, third place going to Gavin Scruton. He was able to power his way through the McLaren. He went and said at least didn't hurt him this time. But looking at Gavin's results, he's been rather consistent, keeping towards the upper part of the field. And I'm sure he's really looking forward to carrying on that momentum. And now that the championship has all concluded for the GT3 Sprint Series, he's looking to try and take that pace going into the final race on Thursday this week. So GT3 Sprint Series Season 10 concluded. Gavin Scruton, though, taking the final third place trophy of the season and walking away, conquering the mountain. Well, being the third person to conquer the mountain.
Yeah, mountain, never an easy place to race at, Stephen, especially in the sprint series type of environment. I mean, it's a shorter race. There's no, how can I put this? No holding back and relying on strategy. It's just going as quickly as you can start to finish.
Second place went to Jean Bertha. Team Kernick Racing, that Porsche still carrying the momentum through, and Bertha has been pushing harder and harder every single time to go and claw up through the ranks, going and improving the championship every step of the time, hoping to get the crown. And well, come next week we will be giving everyone the crown once all has been concluded. So scoring second place on the mountain for Bathurst, Jean Bertha for Team Kernick Racing. But ultimately, there can only be one first place for our Pro-Am division for the Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Season 10, and that goes to Stoltz, who managed to carry the momentum from the Wednesday into the Thursday, getting first place, and is going to be smiling all the way to the bank on that one, because maximizing points all the way through, and, well, walking away with the gold is never a bad thing.
No, absolutely. And as you said, Stephen, taking that momentum from the Wednesday through to the Thursday, and relying on what he learned on the Wednesday evening to try and ensure the success he had on the Thursday evening. Yep,
that's a definite. So let's take a look at our Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Pro Division. Third place, and that went to a returning Kieran Patterson. So Kieran Patterson has been missing. He's been MIA for a bit. But representing South Africa in cricket overseas, he's returned, and his first race back, first time getting back behind the steering wheel after very little practice. Well, looks like he hasn't missed a step, getting a third place in the Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Pro Division Season 10. So well done, Kieran. Welcome back, and well, I see you've put the cricket bat down and you've grabbed hold of the steering. Good on you. It's the right place. It's where you need to be.
Yeah, I think Kieran slowly but surely making his way back into racing, Stephen, and the Sprint Series is the way to do it. So hopefully we will see Kieran back on the grid next season in the Grid Championship as well.
Second place went to Christopher Adloff, taking the big Mercedes all the way to the front and powering his way through. Christopher Adloff did have a bit of a fight on hand. The mid-engines were a bit superior up through the mountain, but when it came down to brute force strength, well, there's no replacement for displacement. And the big V8 that sits in the front of that Mercedes was able to power his way down the straights and just keep him going right the way through. After 55 minutes of racing, one pit stop where he didn't even take tires, and also said, well, it was a bit worrisome towards the end because the rears did not feel like they wanted to stick anymore. He managed to take the home the second place for the Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Season 10, Round 8 at Bathurst. But ultimately, there can only be one winner once again, and for our Pro Division, that went to Morgan McCall. And well done, Morgan. Finally, you've broken the camel's back. You finally have got that momentum. Lady Luck has stepped back into the pit. Murphy has taken a bit of a bow. He's gone and sat in the corner with that 13 spanner and gone to sleep. Getting first place, round 8. And from what I've been told by Robert McCall, we had a very, very excited Morgan McCall that couldn't actually go to sleep at the end of it as well.
Well, that's a problem. But yes, Stephen, very good to see Morgan McCall making his way back. And, we've spoken about it numerous times, but all the bad luck that he's had. And, he, for once, had a really good week of racing last week.
That's it. And, well, nothing coming up for the Raceface GT3 Sprint Series because we have concluded. It's finally done. It's over and done with. And honestly, super, super excited for the next season. What's going to come? What is next? Who's going to be on the grid next? Because we saw one returning driver, one new driver. Our Pro-Am has been filled up. Our Pro is being filled up. I can't wait to see who's going to be there. And, well, what's next for the Raceface GT3 Sprint Series Season 11? Well, you're going to have to stick around and keep an eye on our social media for that one, because I'm sure there is going to be lots of interesting tales to come, and lots of interesting new drivers that are taking up the mantle to come and dethrone Ryan Ottens, who has become the defending champion he's got it twice so far, so he needs to try and defend it one more time before the end of the year.
Can I put my hand up to try and dethrone him? You think it might work?
I think we're in the wrong division.
Wrong division.
That being said, it must also mention that we do have coming up the Raceface Endurance Series on the 8th of October at Kyalami. There is going to be an endurance. That registrations are open for everyone that wants to go and have a bit of fun, jump into some GT3 racing, go for an endurance race. And if I'm right by saying it, it is a 6-hour at Kyalami, which is a tremendous amount of fun. So don't miss out. Head over to Raceface.Pro and go and register your team. Get your friends together, get your family together, come have some fun, because I promise you, endurance race is one of the best places to be versus a sprint.
It's one of the places me and you feel very much at home. We like the longer races. We like the, working on that strategy, because let's face it, Stephen, endurance races, it's not always about all out pace. It is sometimes a case of who can spend the least amount of time in the pits.
That's it. Now, let's move on to some very interesting racing, which we do have a champion for. And let's take a look at our Raceface F4 Season 1. Let's look at heat number 1, because that's where the action was. Now, Janneman, you missed out a bit of the action because you were actually in this race, but new name to the field, Dino Sternum, going and making a phenomenal arrival, going and fighting it out into the top 10, going and taking third place in the debut race in these F4s, and what a wild race it was. 6 cars battling out for first, second, and third, and Dino coming out with that third place at the end, which is absolutely well done, Mr. Sternum. Well played.
Absolutely.
Second place going to our TCR champion, two-time TCR champion, Jan Free, managing to eke out that second place. And also, as I said, it was a 6-car battle, so it was definitely not an easy one. I'm sure you saw this train come up on you in a blinding light as they were fighting for position, Janneman.
I mean, that was after I spent my time in the pits. Yeah, absolutely, Stephen. I saw these guys duking it out on track. I saw, glimpses of, as we see there on screen, how close the racing was, and absolutely phenomenal racing in these F4 cars.
Yeah, no, it was incredible. But we have only one winner for our Heat 1 of the Raceface F4 Season 1, and that went to Troy Dolenchik. Troy Dolenchik, once again, putting a monstrous effort, able to claw his way to victory. And this time, he says he's having a lot more fun going and racing with open wheels, something he's more accustomed to, but also had a proper fight. As Sturdham went and tried diving up on the inside. He had Jan Free, he had Chase Herald. It was not an easy outright runaway from the field. This time, he worked a lot harder than he expected. And actually, we do have a shot of one of the moves coming up now, where you can see the guys bunching up, Sturdham right behind him. And this was one of the defining moments that Troy Dolenchik turned around and said, I nearly lost it completely. Got forced around the outside, cut back around the inside, still side by side, and powered his way through. So if you haven't seen the live stream, go see it. It's absolutely incredible to go and see the battle that went on for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place in the Raceface F4. Moving on to our Heat 2, though, because that's where it also heated up. 3rd place went to Chase Herald. Chase managing to get the jump and claw his way to 3rd place. Not an easy one, rest assured. He bumped, he barged, he had to muscle his way through as the grid did not go and back down. And Chase Herald went and stood the test against time, taking that 3rd place for Heat 2 after a phenomenal start of getting the jump on everyone at the start, even to the thoughts of maybe did he jump start, which he didn't. He just had the fastest reaction time of the field, and that's got to say something for Chase Herald. Getting the fastest reaction time, getting 3rd place, well done, buddy, well done.
Especially from a standing start where reaction time can make a huge difference in the acceleration of the car compared to the other cars. So, agree, Stephen, very well done, Chase. Very well fought battles and bringing it home in 3rd place.
2nd place going to Sturdham, once again able to power his way through, and gotta say, for a debut race, 3rd place in Heat 1, 2nd place in Heat 2, well, that's nothing to sneeze about, and definitely a contender for the championship next time. But getting 2nd place for the Raceface F4 Season 1, powered by Ardenoff Machinery Mart, well done, Mr. Sturdham. You have got everyone standing on their seats, taking a look and going, well, there's a competitor we got to be well aware of that may just dethrone us in time to come. But ultimately, there can only be one 1st place, and our 1st place man in the 2nd heat, taking the 1st Season 1 championship of Raceface F4. The first time Raceface has ever had a single-seater iRacing category. Troy Dolenchik going and taking the gold, double win for the evening, taking the championship, taking the prize from Ardendorf Machinery Mart, which is absolutely incredible stuff, and also taking the honors of the Raceface F4 championship. What a phenomenal run. What a phenomenal time, and also came to the final race where he had to really work to earn those positions.
And absolutely, I think Troy, as you said, 2 wins Tuesday evening, really, stamping his dominance on the series. But having said all that, and as we see on the screen, I think Sturnham is something they really need to watch out next season for.
That's it, and not coming up because that's all completed of our Raceface F4 Season 1 and powered by Ardenoff Machinery. I also want to go and give a big shout out to Louis Nokia, who is one of the drivers of the Raceface iRacing series, and went and made the first ever, far to my knowledge, Raceface trophies that will be handed out to 1st, 2nd, 3rd of the Raceface Season 2 TCR Championship and the Raceface F4 Season 1 powered by Ardendorf Machinery. So thank you, Lewis, for all the hard work, and thank you for the spectacular trophies, which we will display next week along with our champions. We're going to try and get some photos of them holding those very, very trophies. Can I say I'm jealous? Yes. Can I say I want one? Yes. Do I think I can go fast enough to chase those guys? I'm good at dreaming.
Well, I'm sure us commentators should get a trophy for something. We can think of something.
We're fast enough. We're in our own class.
Yeah, we're in our own class. We're so fast with it, we can just talk about it.
So a big thank you to Lewis Okia, and congratulations to Troy Dolenchik taking the championship right at the end. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. Coming up, though, we do have some more single-seater action. Our Raceface F1 2023 round 10 heading to Singapore on the 26th of September. Not to miss out on it. It's going to be an incredible fight, and looking forward to seeing who will be able to get their way to the top. I've got to say, Singapore, very difficult circuit. Also one that has challenged drivers right the way through. I know last time I went around the Singapore circuit was in the earlier F1s, and it was definitely... It's one that favors the brave, because there is no room for error. There is no room to move around. If you're going to go for a pass, you have to be 100% committed to what you're going to do.
I've got one question.
Yes.
Are they going to race the original Singapore circuit, or is it going to be the new layout?
It's a new layout. It's
new layout.
2023
layout. Okay, cool. So that's the fast final sector.
Yes. It's where you go and put your foot down and you go and kiss your butt goodbye if you're going into the wall. Otherwise, you're going to say hello to the checker flag and taking that first place. That being said, also coming up is our Raceface Automobilista 2 on the 30th of September. They head out to Interlagos, looking to have a fantastic battle. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen for round 8 at Interlagos. Interlagos, one of those challenging circuits in Brazil that can really turn your race upside down. And for the Automobilista 2 F1 cars, they're going to be really hammering it around the circuit, seeing who can get the win. Ultimately, it's going to be a major, major fight for every single person there. And I can't wait to see how it's all going to work out. Who's going to be able to climb the championship come the end of our Raceface F1 2023 and our Raceface Automobilista 2? Well, only time will tell. Keep an eye on the social media, keep an eye on the Discords, and also keep an eye on the recap, as we're going to bring you all the action and the final results in the coming week, because it's next week. But that being said, it's been an absolute honor, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Take a look at our social media at Raceface.Pro, out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also join us out on the Discord as well. If you're interested of joining up with any of our championships or future championships, head over to Raceface.Pro on our website. Sign up with it. Join us in the Discord. Come have a chat with all our drivers. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. We like to have a chat about all sorts of things, including knitting, by the looks of it. Ooh. Cameron de Bastos, why are you talking about knitting? We'll find out later.
We tend to talk about strange stuffs, and there's strange hobbies, except for racing, that some of the drivers participate in. That's all we can say.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week, same time, same place, right here at Raceface.Pro. And from myself, Stephen Kernick, the world's fastest backmarker, and Janneman Pruis, the world's slowest alien, we'd like to say thank you very much. And like always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.